Hey everybody, it's Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Much appreciated. If you guys could subscribe here and put the notification button on. You get a notification every time we put up a new video. You never know. Maybe we get a little chatty chat with Bam Adebayo, Udonis Haslem. Maybe we get a chat with some fun guests coming on up. So you guys want to be subscribed and notified every time we do something, do it there. And on 560 WQAM's YouTube page as well. Every weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can watch me and my guy, Leroy. And we can have some fun that way, baby. Miami Heat. They made themselves a little signing, a little camp invite to Cole Swider. I'm not going to act like I know a lot about this guy, but I did look at his shooting stats. I was like, oh, dude can shoot. And look, this Heat organization, Pat Riley, does a couple of things. He sits down on his couch, feels a little uncomfortable. In that couch, there are two things: loose change and shooters. And so, while I don't know if this Cole Swider is going to be anything special, I just assume anybody that they do go find and they're just like, that guy can shoot, they have the confidence in that guy is going to be an absolute monster for them, is going to turn into something, because that's just what they've done. Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, a lot of them. And so Cole Swider, Drew Peterson, whoever the hell it may be, I feel like any of these guys do have the potential to be something and stand out and be some kind of a force for this Miami Heat team. So when I saw that news yesterday, two things popped in my mind. One, got very mad at Shams because, again, kind of reporting news that I don't feel like. You would think at a certain time like Shams and Woj would be like, you know what? Somebody else can find this news out. You can find via press release. A local guy can tweet it out. I don't have to tweet out everything. And, for them to tweet out the Miami Heat, and I'm just, you get that moment of like, you kind of, your heart stops because you're hoping it's going to be the big news. And when it's not the big news, you get a little upset. But, either way, Cole Swider, welcome on in, see what he could do. Kid could shoot. Let's see if it's one of those things that actually pans out for the Miami Heat and he ends up being something special for them. The Heat, from their standpoint right now, in this waiting game with Damian Lillard, we've kind of touched all things on that. Did see that Marcus Morris yesterday. They've had Markieff Morris. His brother's been with the Clippers for a while. Apparently liked himself as a Photoshop of him in a Heat jersey with Damian Lillard. So that's something to keep an eye on. The Morris twins have a good relationship with Bam Adebayo. I feel like everybody just, what I'm going to start doing? I should probably just make a list of the people Bam actually has beef with. Maybe that'll be my first question to him at Media Day this year. Is like, Bam, who are the players you don't like? And then I could just kind of put that, because then I'll just assume that everybody else who's not on the list that he doesn't tell me, will obviously be will be somebody to circle back to be like, oh, that guy's a great relationship with the band because he wasn't on the I can't stand that guy list. So just some food for thought there. Some food for thought for there. Kyle Lowry, there were photos of him meeting with Eric Spoelstra. He was at the FIBA World Cup practice. Kyle Lowry, we talked about this a couple videos ago. Kyle Lowry's in Las Vegas. It's one of his go-to spots in the offseason to go work out and see some things there. Nothing really new on the Damian Lillard front because you had Anthony Chang, who reported that expectations are that trade talks between the Heat and Blazers could pick up in the coming weeks before training camp opens on October 3rd. Reality remains Portland does not love what Miami has to offer. Hopes other teams will eventually put in their own bid for Lillard. I mean, we'll see. The market is as people have said, pretty cool for Damian Lillard right now. It's why the Blazers go and they whine about what goes on there. You did have Damian Lillard, who's going to have to tweet out J. Cole lyrics. Although, well put point by my guy Drew Starr on social media. It was a clip of Damian Lillard saying that J. Cole, favorite rapper, loved him from before anybody knew who he was. J. Cole, of course, scout for the Heat, brought in Caleb Martin. So, all ties together there, dude. It all brings it together as far as that's concerned. And speaking of guys who are important to the Heat organization, Dwyane Wade, it is Hall of Fame weekend. And talked a little bit about this with Udonis Haslem, who said, of course, heading on up there.
Are you going to go up to see D-Wade's?
Of course I am. Of course I am. I have to be there. I cannot not be there.
What do you think that's going to be like?
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's been a long time since, me, D-Wade, Spo, Pat, Mickey, Nick. It's been a long time since all of us, Zoe, all of us have been together in one room. So I'm looking forward to it.
You mentioned that in that great Instagram post that you had in the 40 in the rap soon. Have you given thought, when do you think that will go down? Is that something you want quick? Is that something you want time between?
I mean, I would love to get it over with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a guy that looks for, attention and praise. So let's get that over with so we can focus on trying to get another championship around here soon.
D-Wade was throwing himself a little party. If you saw on Instagram, he had Darrell right there. A lot of the Heat brass is heading off to Springfield. They're going to be there, of course, celebrating the greatest player to ever wear and perform in a Miami Heat jersey. Unless you ask Jeff Teague, who's not impressed with Dwyane Wade, who continues his Dwyane Wade slander. And Jeff Teague is like become... I don't know if he's going to be like the new Kendrick Perkins who just says wacky stuff. I don't know. I know that he's been very good. Everybody loves the fact that he has been saying that Dwyane Wade has, that Dwyane Wade, he takes James Harden over Dwyane Wade. This has been a thing that I've railed against for a long, long time. I don't know when this became something that everybody wants to, argue or see that this is something that we should negotiate or even talk about. But now Jeff Teague is going to, championships don't matter when arguing this. And his argument was, it was pretty crazy because he goes, when I go to the park and I see little kids playing like Harden, I don't really see little kids playing like Dwyane Wade, which is like, I want to know what the definition of for him little kids is, because now Dwyane's been retired for 5 years. So it's like, if a 10-year-old is at the park playing, he was 5 when Dwyane Wade last played, and Dwyane Wade was at the end of his career by then. Whereas James Harden has been, I guess, more recently an elite player or a star player. But I just thought that was a really wacky take by him. And second of all, do kids go to the park and play like James Harden? I mean, I feel like the kids on the playground are going and playing like Steph Curry, and they want to, chug up shots. But are people flopping and flailing all over the place and being turnstiles on defense? Is that what they're doing? I don't know. I do know that I saw this at Bam's camp. Like anytime a kid hits a shot, they're like basically doing the gritty. And like making the 3 goggles. So I feel like a lot of kids are watching like LaMelo Ball. I don't know if a lot of kids are watching James Harden either, but it was a really strange thing. And his other part of it was that, that James Harden, it was like, he was saying something to the effect of, he said, here's his quote. When James was James, he was giving you 38 and 11. Prime D Wade gets you 36 and 5. Then James had years where he averaged 34, 36. It's kind of crazy. I just don't think people are putting enough respect on James Harden's name, which, by the way, he got an MVP and was a runner-up for an MVP, so I don't know what the hell that means. Like, James Harden hasn't been getting enough respect on his name. The guy won a most valuable player, was runner-up another year. His damn GM whined and cried all the time about it. Then he forced his way to multiple teams, is trying to do it for a 3rd straight year, has had some of the most epic chokes. But anyway, he says, I don't feel like enough people were putting enough respect on James. It feels like people are acting like I said D-Wade is a bum or something. D-Wade is a GOAT, but I think James Harden is up there. He just don't have the rings to show for it. But the rings don't matter to me. When I go to the park, I see little kids playing like James Harden. I don't really see kids playing like D-Wade. Not now. Again, going back to that seems like a weird thing because it's like one's a current player, one guy's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Like, do you see a lot of kids playing like Dirk Nowitzki? Do you see a lot of kids playing like Tony Parker? Probably not. You probably say, even the tall, weird kids, they're probably like Jovic. And I'm not even saying like, maybe you think Jovic is going to be better than Dirk Nowitzki. Like his resume is amazing. But the point of it being, it's like, yeah, little kids are going to play like they're the current players. I'm sure there's more kids down here in Miami now. We were talking about this. Like, one of the things that's interesting right now in the Heat dynamic is there's going to be a lot of kids who are being raised up as Jimmy Butler fans because Jimmy Butler's their guy, and Jimmy obviously needs the elusive ring. I think I don't think anybody's ever going to replace Dwyane Wade for me. That's going to be my old man stance. 37 now, like when I'm 57, I'll be arguing with my kids who are like, damn it, Dad, Jimmy Butler was the best Heat player ever. And I'll be like, no, he's not. You kids are stupid. Even though I love Jimmy Butler, but I would never agree to these terms of a deal, you know? So I just thought, but the thing to me is like rings don't matter. And it's like the thing that always is crazy to me with this is like, okay, you want to argue skill for skill. The guy can, like, people were doing this with Kyrie Irving. This was a popular thing that came up. Well, who's a better dribbler, Kyrie Irving or Dwyane Wade? Who's a better 3-point shooter? It's like, so you take these little outstanding skill sets, like, yeah, but packaged together, who was a better basketball player? Dwyane Wade. And when the moments called for it and they rose to the occasion better than anybody, who summoned it more, Dwyane Wade or James Harden? Not even a contest. When the chips are down on the table and his team was down 0-2 in an NBA Finals, who was there? Dwyane Wade. And I mean, I guess like you could honestly say probably oddly enough, maybe I guess the knock you could say is like injury, but even James Harden's had his hamstring injuries as of late. So I don't even think you could put that on the table for D Wade, because like maybe D Wade would have had another ring in 05 if he didn't, get hurt against the Pistons. And that was really the last prime Shaquille O'Neal that the team got. And, I just think that's crazy to me. Like, oh, rings don't matter. It's like, well, then what do we define? Then do you not, I would wonder, like, do you not have Kobe Bryant up there? Do you not have Michael Jordan up there? Like, because I just think when you're getting to the slice of the thing, these guys are the best of the best of the best. James Harden's obviously going to the Hall of Fame. He obviously is one of the best guards to ever do it. But if we're going to just stack it just to say it means nothing that James Harden failed in the biggest spots and D Wade in his career had the best success at the biggest stages, one of the best NBA finals of all time, huge performances in the Heat's other championships. I just think it's weird. It's a weird thing that this is a hang up that people have where they're like, James Harden is in D Wade's class. And I'm like, class of what? I mean, it's just a strange thing for me that D Wade, this popular thing has become the thing. And I don't know if I'm riled up because he's going to the Hall of Fame this week, but it's like, you had this with the Paul Pierce thing where Paul Pierce is like taking these L's because everybody's like, oh, well, if I had this, if I had that, and I'm like, you guys act like D Wade was like Big Shot Bob, like he was a bit role player. Like he wasn't a huge part of the winning too. Like he wasn't a huge reason that they were there. You act like he was sitting here coattail riding the entire time. I find that wild. Like I don't know if I could just give a history lesson to you kids. You guys realize when LeBron James came down to Miami, like the argument was he can't do it by himself. He's going to a winner with Dwyane Wade. Like that was how people saw that back then. LeBron James was epically failing, having flameouts in the playoffs, taking his jersey off, people accusing him of quitting against the Cavaliers, and he needed to come down here to learn how to win. Like that was the narrative on LeBron coming down here. It's not like D Wade was sitting here as like some washed up corpse that was so blessed LeBron was his friend to come here and save his career. That's not how that went. If people on Twitter, you 14-year-olds who are watching all the games on TikTok, if that's how you thought it went, it's not how it went. I just want to be clear on that for everybody. So anyway, Jeff Teague, terrible take. I'm sorry that you don't see more kids. I guess you see a lot more kids out there who are, flopping and flailing and not going, this is my house at a court. But I don't know, maybe Peru's a Miami court every now and then. Maybe we'll see some of that. Now you're probably going to be seeing kids, running and yelling at their opponents like Jimmy does to Drew Holiday, because that's the next wave of fans. Because again, kids, there's separation between kids. Kids are not watching. Maybe they're probably not watching Dwyane Wade from 5 years ago when he played in the NBA last. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe there's some weird kids who are going on YouTube and checking that out. But I just found that to be his two arguments on this were like, oh man, terrible take. Who do I go with here? Oh, I know. I see kids playing like James Harden and also rings don't matter. Oh, okay. Well, I guess. All right. Does defense also not matter, Jeff Teague? I'm just curious. Like, does being the best shot blocking guard of all time, does that not matter? Or No? Okay. Because no kids do it, right? All right. No, forget it. Forget I said anything.